Well, hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to the channel. Sorry I was a little bit late with this breakdown of the latest Prodigy episode. I've been away in the country on work for a few days and had almost zero internet connection, so haven't been able to stream the episode until today. But getting into our review for this week's episode, it's episode 17 of season 1, Ghost in the Machine. Interesting episode. I thought it was going to go in a particular direction, but it kind of didn't. It sort of had its own sort of flow and everything to it, but it was kind of like I guess, a bit of a homage to our various different holodeck episodes, but with a bit of a spin on that. I thought there was a few opportunities missed in this episode, actually. I thought it was going to go a particular way, and it kind of didn't, but we'll get into that soon in my review for this week's episode. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Sci-Fanatics yet, please don't be scared to do so. Click on that big subscribe button to stay current and up to date with all the latest Star Trek news on YouTube. The episode begins in the simulator. They're trying to work out how to defeat the Dauntless and get out of the neutral zone and everything, and their simulation isn't going as well as they would have hoped, which is followed up by, you know, a bit of a cathartic moment of eating a bunch of ice cream to make themselves feel better, I guess, about their failures in the holodeck. And we get sort of, you know, cute holo pets. Roktak apparently has some program running where she's got a collection of holo pets, little cute creatures or whatever that she obviously goes and visits in the holodeck for her particular program. And it becomes apparent pretty soon that these guys are actually stuck in a holodeck program. And I thought, oh, great, okay, we're going to get that episode where we're going to get references to kind of historic holodeck programs and holodeck episodes, because, you know, let's face it, there've been some really iconic holodeck episodes of Star Trek over the years, and I thought, oh yeah, this is the Prodigy viewers' way into the classics of holosuite or holodeck novels and so forth. So they're stuck in the holodeck. We find out soon about this Celador society where they've got to, you know, have a secret mission to find this skeleton key and everything. Moments from everybody's holodeck programs, you know, Jankum's holodeck program where he obviously, takes out a bit of frustration on various Tellarite bikers that all kind of look like Dr. Noom from the Dauntless. Got a bit of an issue with him having kind of, insulted him when they're on that, in that outpost, I guess. So he's sort of working through his issues there. As we progressed through this episode where we went through to, you know, the black and white 1950s nightclub kind of scene, the pirate ship and all that sort of thing, I thought, oh, fantastic. We're going to get Dixon Hill. You know, we're going to get them in the Dixon Hill program, because they said they're going through all these, mixes and matches of different holodeck programs and everything. I thought, oh yeah, great, Dixon Hill. You know, because we sort of had some gangsters in the background there. I thought, oh, maybe there's some Dixon Hill aspects going to come into this. No, didn't come into it. And we had the nightclub. I mean, obviously it was a bit weird having Murph singing a song, which kind of seemed completely out of character and just out of left field entirely. I'm not sure where that came from, and it sort of, didn't. It seemed like the sort of thing, Murph probably shouldn't quite be doing yet. He's only just transitioned into a biped, and already he's kind of singing songs in a holodeck program. So that kind of didn't sit quite true to character to me. It sort of seemed like it was all happening a bit too quickly. But what a perfect opportunity it would have been in that nightclub lounge scene to have, say, Vic Fontaine come in. You know, the DS9 holodeck program with Vic Fontaine. Perfect opportunity for that. No, we didn't get to see Vic Fontaine in that. I thought other programs, Data's Sherlock Holmes program with Moriarty. Obviously we know there's a upcoming scene or a sequence with Moriarty in the upcoming season of Star Trek Picard. So I thought, maybe this is a really good opportunity for those younger viewers who haven't seen the Sherlock Holmes program that the Data would run and everything with Moriarty, to introduce them to that character. No, didn't get Sherlock Holmes program, didn't get Moriarty. And as they kind of worked through, I thought, well, maybe we'll get Captain Proton, Tom Paris's program from Voyager. Didn't get that. So this episode kind of, to me, it fell a little bit flat in terms of missed potential. How wonderful would it have been to have the characters, experience moments from a Dixon Hill, Sherlock Holmes, Vic Fontaine singing in the 1950s kind of lounge or 1960s lounge kind of club that they had going on there. Maybe elements from, Captain Proton, even I think Tom Paris even had that French club, was it like a French bar or something that he had going on for like a season or two or something, where they would go to, some sort of French cafe or French bar, I forget the name of it. But there's so many historic holodeck programs that our characters from Star Trek have visited throughout the years. And I honestly thought we would kind of get little references to them in this episode, but that wasn't the case at all. We got Merv singing and dancing, and we got the diviner being the bartender. That bartender character would have been perfect if it was Vic Fontaine. Pirates and sea monsters and everything. Maybe that could have linked, that pirate ship element could have maybe even linked back to the holodeck program we saw the Next Generation crew running at the start of Star Trek Generations, where they were on the Enterprise, but it was like a big old-fashioned sailing ship that might have been an element to bring that into that sort of that sailing ship kind of program or whatever. We kind of didn't get any of those sort of story beats that I kind of thought we might get in this episode. So to me, even though the episode wasn't a bad episode, I didn't hate it. I went with it, but at the same time, I think I was expecting, when they sort of said that they were going to go through all these historic holodeck programs and they were going to leeching together and all that sort of thing. I thought perfect opportunity to see some iconic holodeck programs come into it, and we didn't even get one. So I think this episode was a real missed opportunity of introducing our Prodigy audience and everything to some of those classics of Star Trek in terms of holodeck programs and so forth. Also, we didn't get anything with the Dauntless this week. Obviously, last week we got left on a bit of a cliffhanger with the Dauntless crew. We had Janeway knocked out by the Diviner at the end, and we were wondering what's going on there. Is the Diviner and the Vindicator and Dreadnought going to take over the Dauntless? But we didn't get even one scene aboard the Dauntless this week. In past weeks, we've tended to sort of bounce back and forth a little bit between the Protostar crew and the Dauntless crew, but we were all on the Protostar crew this week. So I kind of felt like, there were some things that we could have seen in this episode which would have made it a lot more interesting, but we sort of just didn't get them. We were kind of denied some key story beats and opportunities to make this episode a real standout. Obviously at the end there we find out that hologram Janeway has been sort of infected or influenced or whatever by the construct, that's the virus that's on board the ship, and she's sort of messing with the kids. She was the one that was trying to keep them on board the holodeck, to keep them stalled, even though it was I guess an interesting reveal and everything. I just think we could have got there in a more interesting fashion by giving us some more key highlights from the greatest hits of Star Trek's holodeck episodes. That's just me. You guys might have had a completely different take on it altogether. Don't be scared to leave your thoughts in the comment section, guys. Please leave a comment there, and let me know. Did you like this episode, or do you think there was a few missed opportunities from a holodeck perspective that we could have seen in this episode? Leave a thought, and we'll get chatting about it. Guys, as always, please subscribe if you haven't already done so, and leave a super thanks if you're able to. It really helps the channel out, much appreciated. Also, don't forget to check out my merch in the merch store. Heaps of cool t-shirts in there, and pick yourself up a bargain for Christmas or after Christmas. And I'll catch you guys very soon with my next video. I'll see you soon.